badly, who are we to blame? They do exactly what we say, and that's why they're so dangerous.
I should have talked to you before we got it so badly wrong. On Malice Cave, we rolled our sleeves up and helped the small hospice. The faces of those people, like something from a nightmare. Starving women and children, their hands outstretched towards us, but never saying a word. The woman who took us round, a nurse, a volunteer, told us that they'd learned not to ask for food because it could be seen as treason. They'd seen other children shot. The president handed out food parcels and let the children swarm around him. Grinning children wolfing down the food, and all in eerie silence. I spun the journalists a line, something they could play across the footage so it wouldn't scare the viewing public. This isn't a new operation. We've always come to the aid of our citizens. The Federation looks after its own. No one gets left behind. We're all in this together. The journalists didn't believe us. You could see their open contempt. The president saved those women and children, and it only made us look weaker. We were giving them evidence of all the things Blake claimed, and however much they had to do what we told them, they were still journalists at heart. There were too many obvious questions. That was the real story, one to make people sit up and take notice. Why were people starving in the first place? Why were the children too afraid to speak? Because the Federation was everything Blake said. Oppressive and corrupt. It was a PR disaster.
You vetoed all the footage. It was never broadcast.
These things always get out somehow. And besides, it wasn't just the story. The president's whole program now looked weak. We couldn't just carry on, could we?
These things can be turned round. Blake showed us that attacking Space Command.
We needed a grand gesture. Something big to silence all dissent. At least that's what the president decided. I tried to advise him. What would you have done?
The president didn't ask me.
You're jealous. That he came to me, not you.
He can choose whoever he likes to advise him. I'll admit that it knocked my professional pride not to have been consulted.
I should have asked you after Malice Kate. But I'm asking now. What would you have done to make the president change course?
You misunderstand my role. I'm his advocate. I represent his views rather than dictate them.
We both know that's not true. How else can he come to a decision without your advice?
I endeavour to give him good counsel, but any decision is his.